Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. So, yeah, so I have a practice up at Uptown Denver, and there's myself and two other clinicians, and I wonder if we can't pick up me talking. Oh well. So there's myself and two other clinicians, and we specialize in working with concerns related to trauma, and I do a lot of divorce-related work and like parent-child relationship stuff. Also loss, and also kind of life change and transition. So some students too. Yeah. So, and if you guys, because we have a small group, if you have questions, just stop me. Okay. So I was talking about art therapy and the use of expressive arts in healthcare. Even though you're not intending to go into like post-grad art therapy work in particular, you might still encounter some art therapists or use expressive arts with the populations that you are working with, maybe. So kind of thinking a little bit about that too. This is our office. I think it's helpful to have a house. Kind of gives it a homey, less clinical feeling. And just talking about concepts, so there's art therapy, and that overlaps with the idea of what a therapist is, and then the idea of what an artist is. So those all overlap, and if we wanted to get really complex, so yeah, so those all overlap, and just talking about defining, so what we talk about therapy, like what is that? And it's just a process of treating mental and emotional disorders, period. I'm not gonna, I hate it when speakers just read off the PowerPoint, so I won't do that. Welcome. If you have any questions, just stop me. Sure. So yeah, so you have that component of art therapy, the psychotherapy component. And then art therapy is defined as, and I will read that out loud, the therapeutic use of art making within a professional relationship, and that's by people who experience illness, trauma, challenges in living, older adults, kind of with memory care things, concerns, families, folks with cognitive concerns, and then also just to enjoy, like art making is fun, so just to enjoy that process. And that definition comes from the American Art Therapy Association, and that's the largest association for art therapists here. And then the art therapy credentials, so art therapist registered, that's regulated by the Art Therapy Credentials Board, and that's a national title, so it's not a state license like the OPC. So probably folks in the medical field, you would be licensed nationally, so you wouldn't be licensed state by state. So kind of like mental health is different in that way, even for doctoral level folks. So it's kind of an interesting distinction. Yeah. And are you interested in, like, what are you pursuing as far as?
I'm going into pharmacy.
Pharmacy.
I like art, and I find it really therapeutic for myself, so I can really imagine.
Yeah, it's absolutely therapeutic for yourself. Yeah, and we'll talk about that. So, yeah, and then you have the art part, and this British philosopher Richard Wollheim, he said that it's defining art is one of the most elusive definitions in all human culture, because it's hard to really, which of these things is the most arty? It's hard to define that. So it's a Andy Warhol thing. This is a client drawing of my client's, he said. And then, so all of the other disciplines that art therapy could possibly overlap for example, we have an art therapist who works with Studio E, and that's the Epilepsy Foundation. So it's folks who have epilepsy and they go and do like open art studios. So they go and make whatever they want, but they're in a community. So the purpose of the art is not to like cure their epilepsy, but just to help them with the challenges of living. Any questions or things where you think, oh, maybe art therapy would be used there? Yeah.
Is there a specific type of art that has shown more improvement than other types?
That's a really good question. So there are structured art-based assessments, and they're kind of designed to measure different things. But I don't, honestly, I don't know if one particular medium would work better than another one. But you do want to consider like who is the medium for. So like making sure it's developmentally appropriate. If you're doing drawing and you're working with an older adult, even though they might have diminished like cognitive capabilities, you don't want to give them like a box of Crayolas, because that would be kind of like, yeah, exactly. So yeah, does that kind of help to answer the question?
Do they do it like based off of like person to person, or I don't know? I'm just trying to think of like if certain, like say someone who has Down syndrome, if it would be better for them to be like painting or to be drawing or to be working with like clay.
Yeah, that's a good question. There are art therapy interventions that target specific concerns. So like maybe not like a developmental disorder like Down syndrome per se, but or a chromosomal disorder, but like what kinds of challenges is that person having because they have that? So maybe they have challenges with like esteem or social things. So just working within a group might be really helpful, because that can kind of help with the social component. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. That was a good question. And then this is, so when we talk about art therapy, we say it's a nonverbal expressive therapy, and it can bypass verbal defenses and also verbal deficits. So when you're talking about language deficits in older adults with memory care concerns, or also selective mutism, which is an anxiety disorder, art therapy can be really useful with those populations. And so in my practice, I work with a lot of young children, and for kiddos who have experienced trauma from a parent or a caregiver, talking about that experience can feel like a betrayal to the parent or caregiver. Probably they still love that person. And also, you know, it's just they're 5, so it's hard to put those complex experiences into words. So the art is a good way to help them communicate what their experience is. So, and even kiddos who are developmentally appropriate and who have never experienced any kind of trauma, they're just young, so it's hard for them to talk about really complex things. And even as adults, we get really good at like talking around our feelings. So someone asks you, how do you feel? And you say, well, fine. Maybe that's not true. So yes, my specific research interest is in parent-child relationships and how to enhance that attachment, so that bond between parents and children, or a caregiver and children, and using art to do that. So when you guys look at this picture, what do you think this kiddo was feeling when they made it? Angry. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Any other ideas? They had a plan. Yes. Yeah, they have a train. Yeah, energetic. Yeah. Yeah. and empathize with what another person is feeling, even through their art, because we've experienced that ourselves. So the mirroring neurons are really important in terms of the parent-child relationship and also the therapist-client relationship. And so you guys, like, I didn't have to tell you what that person was feeling, you could figure it out. And that helps us learn through imitation, too. More brain stuff. So you guys, the pre-health people, probably know a lot more about the brain than I do. So this is my very, this is borrowed from brainwaves.com. So, do you know all these parts?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know
Frontal, okay, yeah. So the reason why I put this picture up here is because just like when we talk about feeling, so we're talking about like affect regulation, and that's a really complex process that involves the limbic system and the subcortical brain and the cortical brain. So like all those parts are working together to kind of help us feel good, or if there's a tiger behind us to help us like get scared and run away. And when that affect regulation gets disrupted, that's basically the core of all mood disorders. So depression, anxiety, like anger management type stuff. That's all affect regulation. And this is just a diagram of traumatic bonding and parent-child relationships. And so what we want to do is use the art to interrupt that. Basically in this diagram, the parent and the child are both becoming dysregulated at the same time, and that dysregulation has a synergistic effect. So the child gets upset and the parent isn't able to, their coping skills aren't developed enough, and so they get upset and it just builds and builds. So using art between parent and child in a relational manner can help them regulate their affect and help break this cycle. And then this is, so you had asked about like particular art therapy interventions. In my practice, we don't do a lot of structured art therapy interventions. We do some, we do a couple. This is one that we do, and it's called the joint painting procedure. So you have, this is kiddo, this is dad, and the directive is to draw a picture, draw a frame around your picture, and then draw a path leading from your picture to the other person's picture. And if there's any in-between space, work on that space together. And when we do that, we're looking at some specific domains. So we're looking at separation and individuation between the parent and the child. Also looking at the capacity for emotional expression and motivation. So is the child, like, does their path not go to the parent's picture? So maybe does the parent's path intrude in the child's picture? So are there are the pictures like really, really alike? So that would be an indication of maybe less individuation, and the parent and the child are kind of enmeshed. So that's one, and there's like a rating system and all that stuff. So that is one structured art-based assessment that we use in my practice.
So I'm guessing this one has a distinct separation and there's no path, right?
Yes.
Because I don't speak.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with this one, they scored high for the capacity of emotional expression, and they are very expressive, and you see some mutual recognition. So you see some similarities in their artwork, and that's that relational piece in a nonverbal way, like getting each other visually in terms of similar colors, but it's not exactly the same. Yeah, I think that part is kind of neat. That's the favorite part about my job. And then we do another one called the Levick Cognitive Emotional Art Therapy Assessment, and that one's for teens and adults. But assessments, I put this picture in here because assessments don't have to be complex. So with the little girl that I was working with, like talking about, well, how did you feel before you came in? And then how do you feel now? So it's kind of a pre and post, very basic pre and post measure. So I put this stuff in case we had anybody who was going to go into art therapy. I'll probably go through it pretty quickly, just because I want to make sure it's relevant to what you guys are going into. Some of this stuff probably applies to a lot of postgraduate work. So just, undergraduate requirements, and then this just talks about well, now they have doctoral level art therapy programs, but you have to at least have a graduate degree to be an art therapist. Are you guys looking into requirements for your programs now, or are you guys
done by now?
Are you juniors or seniors or senior? Sophomore? Do you have like your schools picked out already? Which I guess you gotta take tests.
Yeah, I do. I have 15 schools picked out, but
Oh wow. Yeah.
I am interested in this because I did portrait art for so long, and
Yeah.
this is a huge part of working on a team and helping professionals. It's so valuable to
Yeah.
people's health.
I can see that portrait art as being relational, like helping someone, like esteeming for someone, it helps them feel seen. So that's neat. Yeah. Cool. And then so postgraduate requirements, you probably will have this in your programs also. And this is the thing that I was talking about, that the Art Therapy Association regulates the state or the national credential, and then the state licensing credential is regulated by the state. So that part's a little confusing for people. So that's why you want to get a supervisor. And then just different career paths. So medical, community, more like behavioral health tracks. Art therapist. So the Ponzio Creative Arts Therapy Program, that's at Children's Hospital. It's a really great example of an art therapy within the medical setting. So it's really, really strong program. Also community, mental health, and then human service agencies. I do an open studio group with the GLBT Center, so it's like their SAGE program, so it's older adults who identify as GLBT. And the purpose of that group is not to diagnose those people, but it's just to like help them feel good and to help them, feel in the community. And then this was a client that I had in an elder care setting, and she was a really fantastic artist. So she's painting a picture in oils of a bird. So for her, the reason why we chose oils is because that's what she was familiar with, and like using the oils made her feel like a real artist. Oops, I want to skip that. If you want to make six figures, don't go into art therapy. Go into like commercial real estate instead. That the starting salary is not great. These ranges are more for like folks with a PsyD, so a doctorate and the art therapy credential. But the good news is that counseling and medical field in general is like a growth. It's growing because we have baby boomers and just more people. And then these are the different skill sets of art therapists. How are you guys doing? Do you have any questions? And I don't want to keep anybody from class or anything, so you're not going to hurt my feelings. Okay.
No, I find this fascinating. I just think healthcare is becoming more interconnected, and we've got to have one of this.
Yeah.
All the sorts
talking about the therapeutic use of art making, it's that combined approach is called an aesthetic pragmatic approach because the art therapist is helping the client attend to aesthetics, but not always, that's not always the focus, and also picking interventions or collaborating on interventions that would meet the client's specific diagnostic needs. So that's that as well. And then I did figure that we would get some folks who were not going into art therapy, but were sort of in an allied health field, like medicine. And so I just put these recommendations in there for just like things to be mindful of, and you'll probably be mindful of them in general anyway. So having an appropriate environment, having a sink, that's really important for art therapy because you need to like get water for paint. I worked in an agency where they put the sink, so I was working with kids, and I put the sink bathrooms downstairs, right next to like the sex offender program. So it was like not, and also the Coke machine was down there. So that was like very poor design as far as a safe and functional environment. Storage space is always an issue, keeping people's work. And then having a work area that's not too messy because clients might feel like they can't make a mess if it's super neat. So this is an old picture of the art room in our office, but you can see we've got like this little drop cloth. Now this is a fun splatter paint rug. And we also have this plastic thing that covers the table. And I purposely won't change the plastic cover every time. So it's usually when people come in, it's got some paint on it, dried already. But that helps them feel like, you know, they don't have to be super neat when they're making things. And then also just, so a couple of you guys talked about using the art materials yourself. And that's really good because you want to know how they work. You want to always try it out yourself before you use it with a client or a patient. And that different materials might elicit different responses. So, you know, thinking about it's really easy for little kids to regress with paint. So I never do paint with little kids on the first session. So it can be kind of messy. Yeah, and you know, not picking an intervention in a material that might be a reach for the client as far as a challenge, but not something they can't do. And then just a little story about rejection. So this was a woman that I had worked with, and she lost her mother, so it was grief and loss kinds of stuff. And so she drew this picture, and somewhere in art therapy land, I picked up that a spiral was symbolic of growth and change. No, like, evidence-based behind that. But I just said, she was drawing the spirals, and I said, oh, the spiral is, you know, sometimes that's indicative of growth and change. And she said, well, actually, the spiral for me was like, yeah, like a downward spiral, like a tornado. You know, so I was completely off base, and that was my projection. So that's something to really be mindful of is, you know, allowing the client's work, whatever it means to them, is what it means. So, and especially, you don't want to pathologize someone's artwork unnecessarily. And it doesn't come with a secret decoder ring. You guys might have seen like Anchorman 2, and has anyone seen Anchorman 2? Okay. You've seen it? So you know Gary, the psychologist guy, and how Will Ferrell thinks that Gary can read his mind. You know? Yeah. So sometimes people think that about therapists, that you know you can read their minds, or you have a secret decoder ring, and because people can feel like it's kind of revealing to make art in the session. But so it's important to know that we don't have a secret decoder ring. And the imagery is very individual and idiosyncratic. Creating dialogue is helpful. And then I talked about that we do some structured art-based assessments. So those are those. Any questions so far? No? Okay. Just a little bit more about knowledge of drawing in general. So this human figure development, all kiddos in all parts of the world draw their people in this way. And then I only put the first page, but so then from here, they add the arms and legs, and then it gets more and more realistic. And that's just how the human figure drawings develop in children. So it's important to know that if you're working with a 2-year-old and they draw their mom like this, that's not because their mom is like a scary monster, with no arms. It's just like, that's because that's how they draw people at that point. And I was actually in a court case where a therapist who was not trained in art was making these kinds of assumptions and saying that like the dad was really bad because he had one arm and he was on wheels and so yeah, it can be harmful. So it's important to kind of know what's developmentally appropriate, about art. And then just kind of like notes. So I don't take pictures of every piece of art because it would just be too time consuming. But if something is clinically significant, I'll take a picture of it, and I tell clients that that's part of the clinical record. The artwork is also confidential, so just like everything that we would talk about is confidential and falls under HIPAA, all the artwork is confidential too. So you need to make sure that you have the client's informed consent, and that they can also sign a voluntary artwork release form. So in my office, we have client artwork all over the walls, but clients have consented to having their artwork displayed anonymously in the art room. Any questions about that stuff? No? Okay. And this is just what an example of what the artwork release might look like. So I have client artwork in this presentation, and I have client artwork here. And I've only picked the artwork that people have checked that I can anonymously present it. And then this is just the piece about scope of practice. And basically that's just practicing within your training. And that's regulated by the DORA, so the Colorado Mental Health Practice Act. These are just, so you might encounter this too in your different allied fields. This is just some guidelines about when you might want to refer a client to an art therapist. So if a client is not really able to speak, so if you have a kiddo with selective mutism and they just don't talk, that would be a good referral for an art therapist. And then if you draw with someone and they get really worked up, that might be another good, and you don't know why, that would be another good reason. You're not sure how to respond to it, so it's always best to work on a team. I think you said that, Jesse. It's always good to work on a team. And then I think you were kind of talking about like art making as a way to take care of yourself, and that's super duper important. And so in art therapy, we call that response art. So it's the therapist's response to the client, and sometimes it's appropriate to share that with the client, and probably most of the time it's not. But it's a really good way to like get out your counter transference. So whatever feelings or thoughts that the client is evoking within you. So maybe like a really difficult patient or a really difficult parent of a patient. Kind of, where do you put that frustration? You put it in the art. So this was an image that I drew after working with a teen who had some suicidal ideation, and she was cutting. And we had a safety plan. She talked with her parents, but I was still really worried for her when she left. And so I needed a place to put my anxiety that I cannot control ultimately what she does outside of the session. So I was just, this is me, and I just wanted to like keep her safe and keep her there, but I couldn't. So. And then this is another fun thing to do. Is just kind of thinking visually. So this is a drawing of when I was first starting my private practice, and I was just like what direction do I go in? And I was feeling really ADHD and kind of scattered about that, and like I was doing something wrong. But then I drew this picture, and like it sort of came to me that it was like scattering seeds, and that's kind of what you do when you're beginning a career. Is you kind of throw a bunch of stuff out there because you're not really sure like what the sun is going to fall on and what is going to get watered and nurtured. So for me, I know that I could not have articulated like normalizing where I was in my career path I couldn't do that verbally. Like I needed the art to help me verbalize that. And that makes sense because language it's a different side of our brain than feelings. So it helps the two parts of the brain to talk. And then, so what I like to do from time to time is I make a copy of this, but so on the copy I white out things, and then I'll change the drawing. I'm gonna do it again soon because I need to kind of white out some things. But it's neat to for me to kind of see, okay, this is my process. So that might be something that you could kind of do, now as you're figuring out all of your different paths.
But the more I learn about healthcare, the more I need some sort of expression to there's so much lack in healthcare. And I think this is where you guys play really well because every day it's like you're with people who are battling, or not battling, but struggling with life and death and so many different cultures and values. It's intense.
It is intense. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I feel like it's a way to kind of escape.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in our field of study, it's always like hard facts. No, like most schools don't even require psychology or sociology, so it's like only the hard sciences that we're faced with, and sometimes your brain is just like, oh, let's see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where your creative side really shows.
Absolutely. Yeah. You guys, feel free to ask questions because I kind of, cruise through this, and we're close. I think that's the end of my pictures anyway. This is just some resources of art therapy places online. We have our Art Therapy Association of Colorado. If you are curious about that, I have these things. Student dues are really cheap; they're $15. And then, there's like Facebook. That's kind of a good way to learn about art therapy. Is liking those different organizations on Facebook. And those are my references. So, yeah. And any other questions? And I have a couple examples of client artwork I can talk about. And I really appreciate your interest, and I also want to be respectful of your time. So, yeah, if you have any questions, that's good. Comments, yeah.
Do you ever use like crafting for like any therapeutic reasons?
Sure.
Because I know like artwork and like crafting is like are kind of two separate worlds.
Yeah. Lately, I'm into terrariums, so like making your own terrariums, which I think is more of a crafting thing. But I think it's a nice metaphor for that previous image of the scattering seeds. And it's also like a nice metaphor for containment. Like you're feeling like, very scattered, and then you have this one area that you can make very pristine and calm. And then, some other crafting things that we do. These are just some examples. So this is like a anchovies can. I really like anchovies. So I'm doing it with the center. We're using these to make shrines for Dia de los Muertos. So, and it's just a little anchovy can, and then you put stuff in it, and then you can use resin to protect it. Yeah, so that's kind of crafty, and then hot gluing buttons on it, just fun. I had my wisdom teeth in here, so it's a fun way to just put random things. Another craft project that we do, this one is called the Bowl of Light, and it's a story craft for trauma survivors. So we read a story about the Bowl of Light, and in the story, all of these, like everybody's born with a bowl of light, but all these hurts and disappointments kind of come in, and they start to block out the light and like weigh down the bowl. So we read the story, and then at the end, the little kid asks the wise grandma, he says, well, what do we do? Like, what happens with the light when all the stones come in? Does it die? And the grandma chuckles and she says, no, what we must do is turn the bowl upside down and let all the stones out, because the light is always there. So